Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? I go by RB, and this is Philly Take with RB. Like always, if you're enjoying the content of the channel, be sure to smash that like button for me. Hit that subscribe if you're new, and ding that notification bell so you're instantly notified whenever I upload or go live. Today, we are back to discuss the Philadelphia 76ers' newest head coach, Doc Rivers' introductory press conference was held today at 1 o'clock, and it was awesome. I thought there were a lot of good questions asked by the Philly media. I thought there were a lot of, fulfilled, complex answers, and Doc Rivers did a great job. I'm really excited about the culture here. I'm excited about the voice, the leadership of Doc Rivers, like I said, from one end of the totem pole to the other, a guy who's going to hold people accountable. And I just saw from today that Doc Rivers, I just think he's really going to be able to turn this franchise around 180 as long as we make the right moves. And I think Doc is our guy to lead us in the right direction moving forward. First and foremost, let me say, today's press conference was probably the best I've heard in about 8 years, honestly. Through the whole time Brett Brown was here, there was just always a lot of talking, a lot of dancing around the questions. And today I heard none of that. It was simply beautiful. I almost teared up. It was so beautiful. Doc Rivers gave detailed answers in the most simplest way possible. He just straight up answered the questions, and you could tell his confidence, his swagger as a coach. I absolutely loved it, man. But let's talk about some of the things that Doc Rivers said. Doc Rivers obviously started out, everybody's introducing themselves. He says that he can't wait to get to work and turn this into a winning franchise. Doc Rivers, talked about Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. He said that they've won 65% of their games together, and, I'm taking notes, but just the things I'm hearing is music to my ears. He's talking about incorporating Ben Simmons. Obviously, doesn't know how he's going to use him yet, but he's going to use him in a multitude of ways. He's going to use Tobias Harris in a multitude of ways. He's going to use Joel Embiid as a dominant big man. He even referenced Kevin Garnett. He referenced other big men like Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, that he has had the ability to coach. And he wants to use Joel Embiid, and he says that he's just an amazing talent. Doc Rivers talked about how his journey to Philadelphia became a thing, because a week ago, he was still the coach of the Clippers, and he was getting fired, and then, days later, he's on a plane to Philly. He said, honestly, he was ready to take a break from this whole adventure, 21 seasons, 16 years in the playoffs. He said he was ready to take a break, but only if the right team came around with talent and a team that he thought that could win right away, win immediately, he would consider it. And he said Philly was his top option, and really we have everything that he needs. And that really made me feel good to hear that. Obviously, like I said, he was asked if Ben's going to play the one. He said he does not know, but on his teams, he likes to play a lot of positionless basketball. He says, I'm going to have to get in the gym before I answer it, but I don't like to assign guys to the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. And I thought that was nice. I think we need a team of positionless basketball, and I think that'll help. I think that's how he got Tobias Harris to get the best version out of himself. He says we're going to put out whatever it takes to win. He referenced that there's about 3 or 4 different lineups that he already takes notice of that he thinks can be, efficient lineups for the Sixers, and I thought that was great. And then he's asked, do your best players have to be the vocal leaders on this team? And he says no. I want everybody to be leaders in terms of work ethic and all. And if your stars are not your leaders, well, we will figure out who needs to be. Even the coach needs to be. I need to step up. And I thought that was great, because we know Brett Brown never had a sense of that here in Philadelphia. And obviously Doc came from the Clippers, where Kawhi Leonard was one of his stars and isn't the most vocal guy. Then he's asked about accountability. Accountability. They said, is the accountability factor more on the players or the coach? And I thought this was interesting. He says it has to be throughout the players. It has to be through the team. We have to be accountable to each other on a daily basis, hold each other to certain standards and certain levels of expectations. But it's on the players and has to start somewhere, like the front office, like the head coach. So he says it kind of works throughout the organization, but it works. It has to start somewhere and be, kind of expressed and kind of echoed throughout the organization. And I really like that from Doc Rivers. I completely agree. The media then goes on to ask Doc Rivers, will he have any take in personnel decisions? Will he partake in any of the decisions? And obviously, days ago, we heard a rumor that said that he won't. But, today he says Elton and I will have a great partnership. He kind of, alluded to the fact that maybe he'll have some say. Maybe him and Elton will have some behind the scenes conversations and kind of guys that might fit his system, or guys, that he kind of wants to build around with Joe and Ben. And there are some guys on the market, as we know, so I hope they are taking a look at that. Someone asked him, what's one of your greatest accomplishments outside of your 2008 championship with the Celtics? And I really liked his answer because it related to us. He said, when I traded half my first, he gets Tobias in to be the best version of himself. And then when he ships off Tobias to the Sixers, he said, basically, we traded a lot of our team at the deadline. We were supposed to lose, but I coached these guys up. I coached talent up, and we ended up making the first round of the playoffs and stole 2 games from the Warriors and almost ended up, completing a first round upset. I thought that was great because he recognizes it. He has to coach talent up above their level. He spoke well about Tobias Harris, like I mentioned. He says we need to get Tobias into more pick and rolls. No more ISO ball Tobias. Thank you, Doc Rivers. It really doesn't take a brilliant mind to see it, but it takes a guy who understands basketball to see it. And Brett Brown never saw it. You can't have Tobias going back and forth at the top of the key. It's not going to work. He wants to get Tobias more in the pick and rolls, allow him to operate from the mid-range game where he's been so efficient. Doc says that kind of gets lost in today's game, but it's true. Tobias is a killer when he pulls up from 10 feet out. It just is what it is, and we got to get guys doing what makes them, what makes them the best at their positions. This was the biggest question, or at least one of them, of the press conference that I thought was asked. It was a beautiful question. They said, they brought up a quote from Doc Rivers years ago and said, how are you going to get your stars out of their comfort zone? Obviously, they're young. Doc talked about they're young and they're experienced and they've won already. But how are you going to get them out of their comfort zone and get them to that next level, that championship level? And I loved Doc Rivers' answer. He said, and I quote, if you want to win, you can't always do the same things that you've done and expect different results. And honestly, immediately my mind went to Ben Simmons. You cannot be that guy to just sit there and not take a jump shot. You have so many tools occupied with your game. All you need to do is shoot the damn ball. At least keep defenses honest. He was asked about Ben Simmons, taking mid-ranges and just at least taking some kind of shot. And he says, obviously, it's my first day on the job. I got to get in the gym and find out how we're going to do it. But he stressed team importance, team scoring. He says that the Sixers are going to have to, take a huge leap in pace, which I love. Another great answer. We got to get this up tempo. We got to move the ball quicker. We can't be a bunch of slugs on the court. And I absolutely agree. And Doc really just talked about playing to our strengths. If we're a team that can shoot the ball well, we shoot it. He said the biggest mistake was that every team is trying to be the Golden State Warriors when in reality, yeah, you got to have shooters, but you got to do what makes you you. He talked about the Lakers. He said they went bigger, and look where they're at right now. So I love these answers from Doc Rivers. They kind of asked him about the whole debacle in with LA and how it kind of went downhill and the 3-1 collapse, and he admitted to it. I loved it. He took accountability, said, yeah, we blew a 3-1 lead. We did it. I like that we got in that situation up 3-1, but we got to finish. We got to close out, and I got to evaluate myself and everybody else. And overall, he said that 3-1 will not leave me until we win in Philadelphia, and I love that. Let it, use it as motivation. Use it so the next time we're up in a 3-1 series, you remember that, and you figure out how to close out. He says stars absolutely want to be coached, and he's looking forward to that with Ben and Joe. All these people that say that coaches don't matter. Well, they do. They do. Doc Rivers said it. Coaches want to be stars want to be coached, and the accountability factor starts with the coach in the front office and kind of leads down through the players in the organization. He talked about some of the role players. Matisse said he already talked to him and Shake Milton and other guys like Al Horford, and he gave them all praise. He said if Shake can do what he did against the Clippers earlier this season, well, he's in good form. He said Matisse is an all-defensive player, and he just talked high about a lot of people. And I cannot wait to see, as long as we make some personnel decisions and we whether we're going to structure the front office different and we go out and acquire some pieces, we complement Ben and Joe better. I really think this is the guy who's going to be able to finally transition our stars and take them to the next level where they need to go and make us a winner. That's what he said. You can win. Winning is one thing, but you got to become the winner. And I love it. Doc Rivers is the newest head coach of the Sixers, and I love what I'm hearing so far. It's just 1 week into this, and we're going to continue to build on it. What do you think about Doc Rivers as the coach of this team? Will he improve our team going forward in the next year? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Perfect.